Right. Yep, you finally get a call from the governor that he is now willing to see you.
Let's do this, gentlemen, and let's be wary of any unexpected circumstances.
Alright, so you have to travel to the main city once more, because of course the governor can't afford to leave his base of
Yep.
operations.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's understandable.
understandable.
And yeah, you are ushered into his kind of chambers once more. He looks a bit older now. He's started to go quite a bit greyer since you last saw him. You know, pressures of the job and all that.
Mm.
Well, we exchange standard greetings and so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
he thanks you profusely for the increase in the connection to turnover and the increase in slaves. Labourers.
Same difference.
No difference, really.
Effectively, yeah.
So how are they working out?
Yeah, we have a turnover, of course. Some people don't make it. Some people find this is nowhere near what they want, and some people seem quite happy to be getting off that world. Apparently, the old emperor is back, which is creeping a lot of people out.
Can't see
I
why.
don't know. These trade people, you just have to ignore them. Recovered world. It takes a few centuries to stamp out the old idiosyncrasies.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are growing. We are growing by about 10% each year, which is a good rate. And as you can see, we have a new rogue trader in the area who's willing to import even more people and take quite a lot of goods off us.
Perfectly fixed smile. I trust Mr. Zerzan still as charming as always.
Oh yes. That man can charm the pants off anyone. Him and his wife. Have you met his wife? You seem to know him, I assume.
You could say we. Did you say Mr. Zerzan? Well, I was confusing him with a different rogue trader. I have heard the name, but
Yes.
no.
He's a member. Kultos Zervazan, apparently. Zerzan Trade and Exploration, as apparently he represents. Apparently they're expanding into like yourself. They're expanding into the Expanse.
I've heard of him, but haven't met him personally.
Oh, I'm sure you would like him. He's a lovely man. I mean, just so fair in his dealings. And yeah, we've pretty sure this trade thing. He's apparently rediscovered several new worlds. A cluster of short-range warp. They don't have navigators apparently, so they couldn't travel that far, but they could jump a few light years in between their worlds, and they've kept themselves at a relatively high level of technology. And of course, he's now bringing them back into the into the Imperium.
Oh, and out of curiosity, what sector was this?
Somewhere down towards the south, I think. I don't know. South somewhere, near the God Emperor's Scourge. I think. I don't really. I'm not one for keeping track of places. If I was ever to go into space, I'm sure it'd be different. But out here, it's just too big to keep track of. Too big.
Out of curiosity, you haven't communicated our previous dealings with Mr. Zerzan, have you?
I may have mentioned you. I mean, it's not that often we get a rogue trader around here.
There's like a soundtrack playing in the back of Esh's head, and the only lyrics to the song are fuck, 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 fuck.
Funnily enough,
Did you mention us by name?
Oh, of course, yes.
I
mean, he was interested in what other rogue traders in the area.
Right. Actually, traders. Real quick message in Traders Can't to whoever. Like who in here understands Traders Can't? Like
I do.
I do now.
Traders can't.
I don't.
My language is.
Secret tongue rogue trader, right?
Yeah.
Yep. No.
Yeah, I got that.
All right. Very quick. Well, let's just. It looks like trying to be subtle here isn't going to work. They know we're here, so let's just do this quick and get out. I turn back to the governor, and I just very quickly mentioned that there are some, as would be between any merchant class, different rogue trader dynasties don't necessarily see eye to eye in the sense that, we're merchants, where sometimes we have to compete. I do hope that in the future, whenever possible and whenever in the bounds of reason, the governor could maintain our dealings private.
Oh, of course, of course. You have to understand, I've never really met anyone with your abilities and status, so I don't know the politics of the situation.
Don't worry.
He
We
asked,
understand.
so I answered. But
We
yes,
we
from now on,
understand.
I'll try and keep our dealings strictly between us. I didn't go into too much detail, of course, but I did tell him what you were doing. You were shipping us with manpower from a system nearby.
Fair enough. Thank you for telling us that. And to the business that we have today, is simple enough. We are interested in acquiring a older, perhaps smaller transport vessel of any stripe. Uh,
Let's
or
see. You're talking warp capable, of course.
yes, if not, then we would consider less, but we require knowledge of facilities where we could install a warp drive if possible.
Around here, that's very difficult.
Yeah, I'd imagine. I'd imagine.
Let me think.
Damn.
No, I really can't think of anything. You could try Footfall. That's the main hub in the area.
Yes.
But
Well.
here we're just a mining town. We don't have ships to sail. I mean, the only ships we really see are the intersystem miners we have and the trading for ships that come in.
Okay. Traders can't real quick. Anything else? Anything we should drop on? Or I think our
Reddit.
business. I think our business here is concluded. So I thank him for his time and so on, and we hope that our business can continue in the future. We only wish that in the future our dealings between rogue traders should be generally kept private.
Of course,
And-
yes.
We're not going to ask him what the other rogue trader wanted.
We
Oh,
already
we've
got
got-
the answer.
We've
We did
already
get to
got.
that, so.
We have plus the inquiry that we had before. I think we have a good idea. We have a good idea of what he's doing here. Not necessarily what he's doing, but the Lucian's breath portion of the deal and where he's heading. If we eventually want to make headway on anything there, we know we have some stuff to work off of. We also know the far more worrying piece of information is that he knows of one of our dealings with Lucian's breath. So we may eventually have to move. If we can find a way to move our, this is something we have to worry about right now. But we would probably be well served in moving the Emperor's Revenge, either fitting it for warp or getting it like our deal on Solus and Carmine. I have no idea if they know of, but they certainly know of our Terra Nova Lucian's Breath deal, so we may want to move security over Terra Nova at some point. Let me put it this way: I don't think the governor is any help at this point, unless anybody else has any suggestions or anything they want to say.
I don't have any notes.
Then I think we'll bid the governor goodbye. We'll just leave him on the two notes of should future dealings should be kept private as much as possible, and if he has any future dealings for us, well, he can communicate via astropaths or something.
Yes, of course. Yeah, it was good to speak to you again. I'm sorry if I've caused any difficulty for you. It was in no way intended.
No, it was kind of on our. We should have mentioned the privacy of agreements between road traders before leaving you last time. So we hope that our business dealings with you can continue. Well, that's Lucian's breath for us.
Right. So as you leave, you begin to walk back towards the platform.
We should be careful.
Yeah,
Yep.
just a little.
Um,
Yeah.
If he's he's probably knowing that the likelihood of where we are. So
So you're halfway back when all of a sudden you hear a fanfare being played.
uh-oh.
Um, Several servo skulls are hovering. They've had trumpets replaced into their mouths. Then enters several servitors who've had their arms replaced with drumming mechanisms, and into the room and into the concourse, which has suddenly become very silent and watching, strides another group of extremely finely dressed people. Which the fanfare dies down after a few seconds, and one of the servo skulls starts broadcasting a prepared speech. Prepare to accept his Majesty, Koltos Zerjan. Bow before him, the rogue trader. And this group of about 40-50 people walks in and begins striding towards the centre of the concourse. About halfway there, one of them kind of moves up to the obvious leader of the group and whispers into his ear, and the group kind of changes course and heads directly towards you.
So
Should we teleport our soldiers behind them?
Wait.
They're not. They're not so much hostile. They're kind of they can't see that many in the way of guns. So the group stops about 10 meters away from you, and there before you is Zoltas Zerzan. Is it?
God, I want to shoot him already.
Man, that just screams douche.
Good grief! Yeah, that's
I love DeviantArt. You can find some really horrible stuff on there.
also Sebastian. No, not France.
Ash, it's good to see you once more. How are things going?
Fine.
Fine.
I guess.
I see you're here in the Expanse. Trying to make a name for your dynasty, I see.
As are you.
Oh yes, things are going swimmingly. I discovered a cluster of stars, known as the Detroit cluster, somewhere to the south here, whereby... Oh, sorry. Have you met my darling wife? He introduces you to an absolutely stunning-looking woman who's kind of does a little bow to you. Yes, this is my wife, Princess Detroit. She was the heir to the systems, but when I came up and informed them that the Imperium was coming back into the area, they of course wanted a fine leader, so we arranged a political marriage. But we seem to get on very well. It's given me a nice collection of free worlds and several new ships that I can add to my dynasty, and we're going to use that as a base. If you would love to come across and visit us at some point, I'm sure that one of my guys can give you the... he starts clicking and pointing to one of them, give you the location of our worlds, and surely we can make you very happy there.
Still mixing business with pleasure, I see.
Oh, every time. Are you married, or have you decided to let your dynasty go the way of, lesser dynasties and pass into obscurity, shall we say?
I figure my priorities are straight as they are. We deal with business first and pleasure second.
Yes, that works for some people, but I've always found it fairly boring myself. So, what are you doing here, and is there anything I can do to help you?
Oh, I've just secured a little trade agreement to move some, supplies from Lucian's breath down to the unbeholden reaches. Just, we found some mining worlds down there and just moving stuff about, I suppose. Just regular road trader stuff.
Good. Keeping yourself busy. I know it's been hard for you recently. I mean, we having to move out into this wasteland. I mean, have you found yourself a nice world to settle on yet? I mean,
Oh yeah, down there in the
you
Unbeholden
should
Reaches.
see some of the Detroit worlds. They're absolutely fantastic. The architecture is 10,000 years old.
Totally visit our own. You know, we got a place down in the like I was saying in the Unbeholden Reaches. You know, very very westward. I mean, you'd have to travel a fair way to get there.
Excellent, excellent. I'll make a note of that, and I'll try and come out and visit you at some point. But look at me, work to do. I mean, it's good to know you're in the area, and is your ship still intact?
Oh, that old thing. I left it back in Calix.
Oh, did you? That's a shame. So, what are you travelling in now? Something a little more close to your status, I assume.
Urge to fucking
Out
kill.
of character.
Oh,
He's out of character.
manage.
He goes.
We manage. We manage. Do we have that? Do we have that? We really need to get that, you know, trade cipher thing for our particular dynasty down, because we really need to have ways to communicate without.
Giving the game away to everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. But my answer is, you know, we do what we can.
Good. So, I shall let you go. Yes, SA, if you ever want to pass on that ship to us, I'm sure that would make amends for the trouble you caused us back in the Calixis sector.
Oh
But-
man, I actually have no in-character response to that beyond really wanting to punch him out. But
Yes.
yes, well, old water under
Make a
the.
willpower save.
Well, to be fair, the only saves I have to make is, or if I was being threatened with imprisonment, which isn't occurring right now, but God, I want to.
Fantasy Grounds just crashed on me. Hang on a second.
That's a shame. Okay, who has been defacing you? I get. Look, that's his nemesis.
Actually, my thing.
Crap,
That was
that's
the cause of the out of character giggles. Someone had
Yeah, out of character games.
Sorry, I was trying to sort the new map out. So the scroll he's given, the party kind of turns and walks away. He kind of leans over and speaks into one of his functionaries' ears as they walk. You notice that, you know, amongst him, everybody is really beautiful and attractive, and you've all seen your opposite numbers who look far better than you do, especially Trusts.
Wait. That's
Wow.
I'd elbow Trust and say, you know, that's probably a good thing. Like a highly visible,
There
beautiful.
is
kind of
so
fellow.
much plastic among that group.
Stands out like a
Chrome.
sore thumb.
Oh, this is Zerzan. This is quality Zerzan. Bullshit. These guys.
Like, oh, that is so Zerzan.
Oh yeah, like you
Oh
have no
god,
idea.
no.
This is like all the bitchy valley genes that have laid dormant for 40,000 years are
Oh,
threatening
god.
to erupt.
Could we unleash the classy rat ghoul on those particular people? Seriously, you'd be doing the universe a favour.
Well,
Out
we
of
did
character.
promise.
Out
We
of
did.
character.
Not my friends.
Not your friends.
We did promise no fights in.
Seriously though, this
So the Electron cluster or whatever the hell.
Electron, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate we're not supposed to, but my god.
I can't actually believe that they told us what their deal is. These guys are unbelievable. Again, I'll
Hey.
fill you in. I'll fill you in on what I remember from the Zerzans once we've sorted the first few steps of our current deal. But
I'll do an inquiry into his officers, see if I can find anything useful. Looks like it's all show, no substance to me, but we'll find out.
I would
Who
warn you
knows?
before. I would warn you beforehand to do be a little bit careful. These guys are they're a bit tricky in the sense that back in Calix, thinking that they were just bark no bite. That's kind of what cost us. So
Take
So
that
they
under
might show
advisement,
about, but they do know what they're doing.
yeah.
which makes it worse.
Yeah. Let me put it this way: they're not all fully up there, but occasionally these guys will pull some weird stunts. So
That sort of implies that there's somebody behind them that has a brain.
All right.
oh, this,
Can I roll a Science to text if they're using psychic powers?
That'd be funny if they're all pretty because of psychics.
That was sort of my thinking, because it lets me
Oh.
detect.
That's a good point, actually.
That
Both
One
roll
second.
So yeah, that's that's demons who use the psychic powers. Yep. So that'd just be standard roll, would it?
Yep.
Well, you don't detect anything. That's whatever my skill is. I'll roll it and then find out. 45. Oh, that's gonna be close. Can use a secret boosted, I guess, but I should have called that first, so I won't do that. Science 45, which is exactly my skill.
Right. Yep. The only person with any psychic powers was the
Okay, sorry about that.
the princess.
Astropath.
No, the princess. He didn't have an astropath with him. But yeah,
The
his
princess
wife.
is a
His
psyker.
wife was a psyker.
Is his wife
Oh.
wearing power armor?
No, his wife isn't the problem.
Down, boy.
Is his
Steady,
wife?
Sebastian.
I would say more. Is his wife
The rest
a?
are-
somebody get the rolls of newspaper.
No, what we really should know is since his wife is a psyker, is it sancted?
No.
Or whatever. the fuck.
Of course not.
She only just came back.
She's-
She wouldn't. It's like
So
not
if
sanctioned
she's not aware, we could use that against him.
Yeah,
This is the
but
problem.
this is the sort of thing that the traders can't. I guess I won't rogue traders can't because he'd be able to understand that. So yeah, it'll wait till we go back to the ship before I point out that his wife.
Traders can't. It basically allows you to speak in your own personal language. Using it as a skill is to try and break somebody else's rogue traders. So he
Yeah.
would, if you spoke in your language, he would then get a roll to see if he understood it.
I mean, we'd still want to wait till they're out of earshot before we start communicating anything. But
Yeah. So they've already turned around and walked away.
Oh
right?
yeah, they're going off in full fanfare and like they're kind of
Gonna-
walking the I keep forgetting his name. Zerzan and his wife are kind of got their hands held to hands high up. The whole the nobility way of walking, which gives you pins and needles after a while.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if
but they're
I
doing that, and
higher.
yeah,
If
the
I
whole
should roll it any higher, I'd count as Sebastian's little blind buddy.
yep. So,
So-
they leave the concourse. What are you
So-
gonna do?
Apparently the drawing of somebody was drawing on his face or whatever.
Yeah,
Could I see it?
I cleared that.
Oh,
Ah,
damn.
He had a
Mine
mustache.
crashed before I was able to see it.
No, sorry.
They're gonna take a while to get to the ship. Let's just get to ours, get out of here, and we'll
Yeah, that sounds
wait
like.
on our way to Football. We'll start discussing our options.
Right, you can make it back to your ship with no real problem. And they make no attempt to follow you with their two ships.
Interesting.
On
I
our
like the lie there, though.
on our way to Footfall, I'm just going to point out the most pertinent fact about Zerzans. If it's for show, it's probably for show. If it's glitzy, if it's ostentatious, it's just gilding. These guys have no real charm. The trouble is the fact that their leadership is, to put not a fine word on it, halfway competent. So if Kaltos is pretending to be a fool, he's not really a fool. He's the only one I'm really worried about here, though.
right.
Well, apparently they have an admech there with them.
Well, he's a rogue trader with everything that entitles, so he's gonna have a competent officers corps flying with him.
Yeah, basically think he's got an equal to all of you guys.
We have like a rival.
Yeah, you've all
Rival-
got your own little rival buddy on the opposite side.
yeah.
I bet I can out-tech use my rival.
Probably.
I'll probably sneak in and assassinate mine.
Seriously, Seneschal, that looks good. That attracts attention. I mean, this is so missing the point.
I've got unremarkable for a reason.
I don't know. I think trust is pretty remarkable.
In his own way, certainly.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Just showing the internet people trust
they
again, just in case they've forgotten. And I'm going to force it on you guys.
That picture is awesome.
It's just every time they see him, they have this vague feeling that they've seen him in some sort of Dad Slate movie at some point, but they'll be damned. They'll
In
be
a
damned.
pair of Data Slate movies, no doubt.
Yeah, like something about a coming of age story of a, I don't know. You can just never
Yes!
quite place him.
A coming of
come
age
on,
story and
that's-
at least one more story.
No, that image does not need enhancement. I mean, honestly, it speaks for itself.
Really?
And it's being
Apparently
enhanced
somebody
anyway.
else is drawing on it now.
Arv, come on, Arv, come on, dude.
Let's
Yeah.
play Rogue Trader Artist Edition.
Oh, at least the children are having fun.
There we go.
Don't worry, Trust. We, got your back, buddy.
Goatee.
Don't give me a douche patch.
Oh, God.
You know what? That's what the other one looks like, just slightly more beautiful.
Like Lucian's breath.
They all look like us, but they have douche patches.
Evil little beards, yeah.
Lucian's breath can't handle this much douchiness. I mean, one douchey crew is enough.
Yeah, exactly.
There's not enough room for this many douches.
Cinches has one too.
So, are you returning to football?
Yes.
Yep.
Though I would like to make a point that we are going to definitely have to step up defense on Terra Nova at some point.
Yeah.
My only hope here is that we've caught him on one of his off days, and he's actually going to take me on face value for the Unbeholden Reaches. I'm not willing to bet thrones on it, but that could be a few good years of silence if he does. Enough time for us to batten down and get our current interests.
Or at least complete a warp travel
Jack.
jump.
The Kaltos do have some connections with Imperial Navy, so that's why I'm less than willing to immediately engage them in combat.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just going to go ahead and point that out, that, we don't necessarily want to treat this as a,
An immediate battle that has to be resolved.
yeah.
Not flippantly, yeah.
So, to football it is, I guess.
Right. That's going to be a 3-day journey. So,
Or 20. That's what we're used to.
Well, theoretically, it's going to be a 3-day journey.
right. So, location in the Astronomicon, please.
Yep. Nope.
That's plus
Still
10.
missing.
Right, charting the course.
Wait, how much is your
My
nav?
awareness is 45. Because Astronomicon's awareness, being aware of where it is. Nav is 42. Yep, anyhow, charting the course is...
Right, so that's a pass just.
Yep.
Because you got plus 10 counters out your minus 10 for your Astronomicon. Steering the vessel. Oh dear. That's 2 degrees of failure. So 4 times. So instead of 3 days, it's 12 days.
Welcome to warp travel.
Yep.
Welcome.
Although I think looking at
There's
the
not
Navis
more time in the
Primer,
warp than on planet.
Well, yeah, well, when the Navis Primer gets read up, maybe it'll change how our warp travel works.
Maybe.
it looks like I've been seriously underestimating distances there.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that just matches our warp rolls. They've just been
Yeah, it's just been you've been rolling naturally.
this is because that's how long it really is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so would you like to make me your Perils of the Warp travel encounters roll?
Yep, that's 37, which is I don't have the warp table up anymore. Can't find out what I've rolled with what Grey tells us.
That's Shoals and Reefs. So do you want to reroll?
Ah, yep. Let's have another one. good at that. Ah, God.
We
That's another
find
ghost
every
ship.
single goddamn reef.
Yep, I think that's the one you're going to go be aiming for. So, make me a piloting test.
Oh, that's right. I pilot.
It's
There.
completely
Yay,
mature.
I'm very good at piloting. Very good
Yeah.
at piloting.
Yes.
Nice job.
I think it's just the pilot chair is lucky and
Navigators.
Right.
it's not actually the fact that our voidsman is good. It's just that the seat is lucky.
Okay. So,
I mean it, or if I don't mean it. If you're listening to this, I don't mean it.